2025 Bassmaster Classic. The coolest thing about this classic is we see more women in the booths than ever before.
Yes.
And you're not oddities, you're not novelties. You're here because you're hardcore anglers. And I didn't recognize Lea Anne Powell at first
Right.
because I've never seen you without your sunglasses on. I've seen you on the cover of Bassmaster magazine. Tell me about that fish
Correct.
that was on the cover of Bassmaster.
So that fish is actually a world record. After I caught her, I actually had no idea that she was going to be a world record. She was a 12-pound, 3-ounce largemouth caught on 10-pound Seeger red label. It was the craziest catch of my life. 45 foot from the boat, 15 foot down in salt trees. By the time she was on the deck, she had dredged a hole where the hook was, and the bait just fell out. I was so lucky to have landed her.
And where was that?
It was called Ivie.
OHI. So you
Yes.
fish mostly here in Texas.
I'm actually from the East Coast, but I have fished everything from East Coast, West Coast, including overseas. I do saltwater and freshwater.
So besides OHIV, what are some of your favorite places you've been?
Lakes or
Anything.
Okay. Egypt was amazing.
With
And,
Nile perch?
I did get Nile perch. I hooked into yellow spot trevally, blue spot trevally, and dogtooth tuna. Actually.
Oh wow, that's my bucket list species.
Yeah,
Dogtooth.
it was like a school bus on the end of the rod. It's crazy. But lakes wise, Sam Rayburn's my jam, and Eufaula in Alabama. I love those bodies of water. The vegetation is perfect. You got a lot of different variations on structure, so they're definitely up there on the top.
So I have to ask, and I hope this doesn't insult you, but how did you get involved in fishing? Was it through your family? Because a lot of girls seem to have either fear or impediments.
So my cousin actually took me to a stock trout pond when I was like 7 years old, and I was hooked from there. And the crazy thing was, I kind of I started to kind of dabble with it here and there, but when I moved overseas, I actually started fishing with some local guys. And my friend in the U.S. was like, "Hey, you're really natural at this. Would you consider fishing tournaments?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would consider it." My mentor told me I wasn't ready. And I was like, how am I going to know that I'm ready if I don't try? So my first year in a tournament series, I finished 56 out of 350 men. And then my next year, I went to regionals.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So what are your goals as an angler at this point?
I would love to grace the stage of the Bassmaster Classic. I mean, I'm slowly working my way up there. I've actually been fishing from the back of the boat, and everybody says you're a saint for being able to do that, because catching fish behind a pro, especially when they know that they need those fish for a payday, it's really humbling, but it's taught me so much. So I'm ready for the front of the boat, and I think there's going to be some pretty big things happening for 2026.
Good. Well, we're sitting here in the Daiwa booth.
Yes.
Tell me some Daiwa products that you can't live without. Give me 2 or 3 that you have to have.
So for freshwater, I actually run the Tatula 100. We actually have new 200s and 150s. They have the TW spools. They're hyperdrives. They got the T-wing technology, so it helps with all the backlash. They're aluminum frames. I love these reels. For saltwater inshore game, I actually run the Daiwa Coastals, and occasionally I'll find myself throwing the Coastal Isla combo for the freshwater stuff, just because they're so sensitive. So I love Daiwa altogether. They constantly are coming out with new products. They actually have a new Kage as well. That's 150 spool. You guys got to check them out.
And if people want to find you on social media, what are your channels and what platforms?
Lea Anne P. Leaannep. Leannep. I got to slow down. Talking too fast. And then, so that's on Instagram. Facebook is Lea Anne Driver, because I've actually raced cars and I'm a race car mechanic.
Really?
Yes.
What's the similarities and differences between driving a race car and driving a bass boat?
Not much. I mean, you have your trim levels, so you're getting that car dialed in, you're getting the boat dialed in with your motor exactly where you want it to cruise to. It's the same. It's aerodynamics. And people are like, "Well, do you like fishing or racing better?" And I was like, well, one line you're actually using a proverbial line, and the other one you're using a real line. So they're kind of hand in hand. People are like, "You're crazy for thinking that." I said, absolutely not. It's a racing line, it's a fishing line. It's And then the boats it's the same as tuning a race car. You got that trim, you're going to adjust your jack plate, you're going to adjust everything, get it dialed in exactly where you want to get the cruising just right.
What's the fastest you've gone in a car?
170.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that was I was at Yas Marina Circuit, and my buddies from Dragon Racing came out with a Ferrari 458, and they said, "Hey, we want you to coach in this." And I was like, "Okay, but we want you to test the car first." I said, "Okay." The chief instructor said, "Well, you know what?" He goes, "You can drive it how you want." I said, "All right." And he was tapping out. He's like, "Okay, you can brake. You can brake now." So on a racetrack, you have 3, 2, 1. You're supposed to start braking at 3. I'm a late braker. Those cars are made to handle way past 1. So I was braking way past 1, and he was so scared. It was awesome.
I feel like I'm a late breaker too, but I tend to run into stuff.
Oh, no.
Check her out, Lea Anne Powell, record-setting bass angler, race car mechanic, Daiwa sponsored pro. You
Yes.
pretty much do it all. How do you have any time to sleep?
I make time.
She makes time.
Yeah.
Check her out. We're going to see her in the Bassmaster Classic someday.
Thank you.